Alright, so if you're watching this video, chances are that you are looking to land a $10,000 plus per month remote sales role. And back in the day, that was easy. All you had to do was DM somebody, pick the best offer, hop on, and start printing. But going into 2026, everything in the remote sales space has changed. Everyone and their grandma saw someone on TikTok making $20,000 a month as a closer. And now everyone wants a piece of the cake. In fact, as of today, the space is flooded with people doing the exact same copy and paste outreach, using the same scripts, and reaching out to the same creators. But after earning over $200,000 as a sales rep in 2025 and building a network of over 100 offer owners who are actively hiring, I can tell you one big truth. Going into 2026, the demand for skilled, well-spoken, and coachable sales reps is higher than ever. And since no one knows how to properly position themselves, this video puts you miles ahead of everyone else, even if you have zero sales experience or have been ghosted by hundreds of offer owners already. Because the truth is, you have to start playing a different game, which is why today I will show you exactly what changed, why the old methods aren't working, and the actual step-by-step path that is working right now for anyone looking to land a high-paying closer role. All right, it's Luke McNaughton here. In case you don't know me, I dropped out of college when I was 19, learned high-ticket sales, helped scale a company from 8K to 400K a month. Now, I help people learn how to make 10K plus per month online so they never have to live on someone else's terms again. If you're tired of the traditional path like I was, you're in the right place. All right, so what changed then? How did it go from so easy to land a sales role to more difficult to find and land a high-paying sales role? Well, first of all, everyone's making money online. Your cousin, your friend, your neighbor across the street maybe. There's gurus selling courses. Social media turned into more of a marketplace than entertainment. And everyone's monetizing their personal brands, whatever it may be. But that can also be good for us as sales reps. It's just slightly different in how we approach it. And actually the long-term projections for this industry as a whole are that it will hit around $1.2 or $1.3 trillion by 2033 or 2034. So again, that is really good for us as sales reps because the industry is growing. Again, everyone is trying to learn things. Everyone is putting out courses and gurus are selling stuff. All of those are opportunities for us as sales reps to land a role there. We just have to differ our approach in how we actually stand out because everyone is trying to do something similar. All right, so the industry's expanding. More people are selling stuff than ever before, so there's more opportunities for sales reps. Why are the old methods not working? Or why does it maybe seem like it's more difficult right now to land a sales role? Well, first of all, let's think about it from a business perspective. To hire a sales rep is one of, if not the most important decision or hire in a business. Because really, they have to spend money to get the client or to get the prospects that the sales team is going to talk to. And then if the sales team is bad, they can't close the clients or they can't close the prospects. So the business is really losing twice or even more times if you break it down more granular. But at a top level, if the sales team or the sales rep is bad, they're losing twice. They have to spend the money to get the prospect, and then also they're losing out on the opportunity cost if the sales rep is bad versus a good sales rep, where the good sales rep would actually close that person, bringing in money, versus a sales rep that's bad wouldn't close the person. So they're losing out on that opportunity cost, plus on this money that they have to spend for ads or marketing or however they're going to get those prospects. So again, that is the most important decision for a business owner. And right now the space is flooded with shitty sales reps. Everyone thinks they can close, they can sell, whatever. A lot of people can't just because they haven't learned how to. And so a lot of businesses have learned their lessons, they've learned their mistakes, and they've hired shitty sales reps and they've seen that it doesn't necessarily work and it is one of the most important decisions of a business. And so they're being more specific now. And second is that, again, with all the shitty sales reps, everyone's outreach seems the same. Everyone's using the same frameworks and scripts or outreach techniques to try to land a role. So even if you are a good sales rep, but your outreach seems or sounds like everyone else's and sounds like a shitty sales rep, they're going to think of you as a shitty sales rep and they're not going to want to hire you. And so offer owners or business owners won't hire people if their outreach doesn't stand out and make them seem like they actually are a good sales rep. And lastly, you may or possibly, probably are just reaching out to the wrong people. And so all of that combined is what's really making it seem like it's more difficult right now to land a sales role, even though the industry is doubling year over year. All right, so what do you do instead? Well, first of all, landing a sales role is a sales process within itself. Everything from your first message to the interview to the questions that you ask on the interview is all proving that you know how to sell. And if you can't sell yourself into a position, they're not going to trust you to sell their product. So just keep that in mind as we're going through this whole thing. So the first strategy that actually works currently, it's still direct outreach to business owners, but you have to do it smart. If you're just coming across every business owner that has millions of followers and thinking, oh, I should DM them to be one of their sales reps, that is a horrible mistake and it's going to waste a lot of time because you're DMing them and realistically it's probably getting lost in a massive flow of other messages. And if it does reach someone, if someone responds, it's probably the appointment setter. It's probably the DM setter whose position you may possibly be trying to take. They are not going to help you. Okay, so then who to actually reach out to? Well, first of all, you can look for business owners or creators that have around 100K or less, maybe 50K or less. These people are most likely managing their own DMs still. They probably aren't getting hundreds of applications daily. They have legitimate businesses and they actually need sales help. Or you can go even smaller. You can look for under 20 or under 10,000 followers. And these can sometimes be the best opportunities because they're not getting a bunch of applications, but they need sales reps and they're probably spending a lot on ads to have the prospect flow and the lead flow coming in, but they're really not getting many applications for sales reps at all. All right, so you know what type of people to reach out to, but now how do you actually find these people? Well, first of all, you got to pick your niche. So fitness, business coaching, real estate, whatever it is. And then it's really just a researching game. And so go to YouTube, usually Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok will all link to each other. So you can start from really any of them, but look for coaches or course creators or really any content creator in that niche. And from one person, you can usually find others that are in similar spaces, but check out each person's engagement, check out their content quality. Are they posting regularly? And can you tell that they're selling something? Usually they'll have a link in the bio or a call to action at the end. And if they are, they probably need sales help. All right, so you got some people that you think might be good to reach out to now, but do not send them a message yet. Phew, I just wanted to make that clear. Do not send them anything yet. We will get there. But first, we're gonna do something that most people overlook or do not think it is as important as it is. And I'm so serious about this. We're gonna be setting up your profile in a way that encourages them to respond to your message. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, for God's sake, just please, I beg you, have a high quality, good profile photo that shows you and your face. Doesn't need to be, or ideally isn't like all stiff and professional, just something casual, but shows you. And there's so many AI tools now, you can take it against a blank wall and give yourself a background. It's so easy. And then create a little bio about yourself, just a few words, maybe a sentence about what you like to do or who you are. And then ideally, you have a few photos or posts on your profile of, again, what you like to do, maybe talking about yourself, depends what social media it is, but photos or text about you and shows some of your personality. But we're gonna be archiving or deleting any non-professional ones, any ones that show drunk or party or you laying on the floor passed out, something like that. Anything that just screams, I'm not professional, take it off there. It doesn't need to be on there. This is now a professional tool for you to land a job. You can keep those photos somewhere else. And really, when a business or a creator or anyone sees a message, the first thing they're going to do is check your profile, and if it seems spammy or sketchy, they are out of there before you could even know. Okay, great. You've got your profile optimized to encourage them to respond. Now we're going to be crafting and sending the message. And please, for the love of God, do not send a generic,
"Hey, are you hiring?"
message. Just sucks. No one likes receiving them. You probably don't like sending them because you're not getting great responses. You're probably getting left unopened or undelivered, whatever it may be. We want to send something that's more personalized and can tell took a little bit more effort, a little bit more time. Even if it's just a very small amount, it makes a big difference. So totally depends on the niche, but I would recommend sending a first message just to get a response, and then sending a second to go a little bit deeper. What I mean by that is, let's say it's fitness. That's a fitness niche. You can send the first message saying, "Hey, I love the content. Just curious, do you have a fitness coaching program?" That gets them to respond, because if they do, they're going to want to respond to that and give you some more info about it. And if they don't, they're going to say no, and you can just move on from that. That's no worries. But if they say yes, then you can send a longer message, or what I would recommend is a video, a loom, or a selfie video, because really someone's first impressions usually go off of three main things: how you talk, how you look, and how you act or how you dress. And so a video really hits all three of those things. So whether, again, this is the part that may depend on niche also, whether that's in a desk, maybe a little bit nicer, dressed up, a shirt, whatever it may be, or if it's a little bit more casual, and some of that you can tell from their content, you can just do a selfie video walking down the street. Both can work, but some niches, one will work better than the other. And so I will do an example of that, and for someone that's never really been in sales, but actually below, I'll paste two different formats, one for someone who's never been in sales, and then one for someone who's been in sales for a little bit, and you can use those as just kind of a guide or a starting point. So if you've never been in sales, you can, again, be on the video, looking at the camera, saying something like, "Hey," or "Yeah, awesome, John," because again, they just would have said yes, they have a coaching program, so you'll say, "Awesome, John, this is Luke. I've been following your content for a while. I love this video," or mention something specific. "I love how you do this. I love this video. I have just gotten into sales, but I've been training for the past 3 months," or however long you've been working on your sales skills. "I've been training for 3 months in the fitness niche specifically, and I would love to talk about a little bit further about an opportunity to work with you guys." Or you can just straight up ask, "Is there a way that I can apply to work with you guys?" Or "Is there a time that we can talk to go a little bit deeper on this?" Any of those, again, in the video form, can work really well. All right, so let's say you send the first message or the video message, and 48 hours later, you still haven't heard anything. Follow up and keep it light. Just, "Hey, just wanted to see if you saw this," or "Hey, just bumping this up," "Hey, just checking up on this," whatever it may be. Keep it light. If they don't respond again, maybe give it 2 weeks, a week, or something a little bit more time, but really you can just let it go. You don't have to be super pushy about it. And the biggest thing here with this strategy is that it is a volume game. I would recommend getting a big list, like a spreadsheet of all the people that you want to reach out to. Like, just take a few hours one day, get a bunch of people, and then each day hit off 10 to 15 different messages, follow maybe, and follow them and send a message, and just go 10 to 15 and track that all in that spreadsheet. Who you sent the message to, when you sent it, if they responded, what the next steps are, if they said they would get back to you, whatever it may be. Track all that so you know how it's going. And it's going to be difficult, but that is, again, it's sales. It's the sales process. You're going to get ghosted. You're going to get rejected. But if you're doing it enough, you will start to get replies, and you'll start to get positive replies, and you'll start to have people that maybe you'll interview with. All right, strategy number 2. reaching out to sales agencies, managers, and recruiters. And this is the one that most people completely miss, and it's one of the best. These strategies are getting better and better, so number 3 is probably going to be the easiest. But this is so good because you're not reaching out to business owners who have so many things on their plates and they don't really want to worry about going through a whole bunch of applications. You are reaching out to people directly who are responsible for placing closers and setters in the companies, in the businesses. So sales agencies, again, they build multiple teams for clients. Recruiters, they are specifically the people who their job is to place closers and setters. And then managers, they run and manage multiple sales teams for high-performing offers. All right, so why is this so much better? Well, first of all, the best opportunities in these industries are not posted publicly. Like I was saying, business owners do not like going through a bunch of applications. They have way more important things to be doing. So they reach out to the recruiters and the managers that they know, and they say, hey, I need a setter and a closer, or do you know a killer closer that needs an offer? And then they're going to get a list of high qualified sales reps, rather than having to look through a list that they're not even sure is qualified of these people. And so if you are connected with these sales agencies and recruiters and managers, you are going to get access to these positions that are actually looking for sales reps, high quality positions before it ever hits a job board. And again, these business owners are going to be happy and eager to hear from you because you got the really seal of approval from the recruiter or from the manager. And you're going to get much higher access to that business owner than if you just reach out to them on Instagram or something. And if you make a good impression with either the business owner and or the recruiter, manager, whoever it may be, they're going to keep you in mind for all future positions. All right, so again, now how do we find these people? Social media is such a good tool for connecting and researching and finding people. And once you find just one person that you know is a good manager or a good recruiter or a good person in a sales agency, it becomes so much easier because off that person you can usually find their connections, and their connections are more managers, more recruiters, more sales agencies. So it's really about finding that first person, and once you do, going into who they follow. Not necessarily who follows them, because they're probably going to have more followers and those will be sales reps and other things like that, but who they follow. Because those will be people that they value to have on their page and who they want to actually connect with and follow. And that's, again, usually more of the same. But how do we find that first person? You just gotta scour the social media platforms. Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, looking up high ticket sales, remote closer, sales agency, sales manager, going into different people's posts and seeing who's tagged, seeing who's commenting, finding the bigger people and working down, finding the little people and working up. It's not a specific science of how to find it, but you gotta just be resourceful. Again, it's all a sales process and it totally comes down to how much you want it. And looking up all those things, you will definitely find posts about that. And then from there, you can start to check out that person and see if they are or could be a sales manager. And you'll probably see something in their bio saying something about that, whether they're a recruiter or a manager or who they work with in terms of an agency or something. And also Facebook can be a great one. You can join high ticket sales groups and again, find those specific people or just be in that group. Sometimes they'll post jobs in there. And if you do find a person that you, again, think is good, try to see who else they're connected with. And again, put together a list and connect with that person in a more broad scale before sending them a DM. Like their posts, comments, ask questions, whatever it may be in the more broad sense of comments and stuff, and do that with the people that they're connected with. Become a name that they might recognize a little bit more, and then send them a DM. And then try to connect with them personally. And even without connecting with them personally, of having them responding to your DM or like being, oh, best buds with that guy, just following the right people. A lot of these managers will post on their stories or on their actual feed sometimes about certain offers they're running or about certain positions that might be hiring, or like I was saying, that business owner that might have just reached out to them. They might be putting that one-time post out there, or they might be having something a little bit longer term in terms of actively hiring because they're managing a team and they're going to be hiring like over and over. Both of those things will just be on that person's account often, and you can find really high quality jobs just from following that person. Okay, perfect. So what do you actually send these people? Because it will be different from the business owners. You're approaching this as long-term networking. So you can be a little bit more direct, but it's still a numbers game. Just keep that in mind. So first thing, before you send the message, again, if they have content up, if they're trying to grow their personal brand, look through that. It amazes me how many people don't do that before they send a message. Look through that. You can learn so much from their content because they're trying to give away value as well. And you can learn about them, their personality, what they like, what they don't like, and use that in your message. And while you're going through that, leave comments, ask questions, give them a like on that, react with other people in the comments, whatever it may be. And then after you've done that a few times, you can reach out to them. If they don't have any content up and maybe it's just a few photos, still go in, like it, comment, react with other people. But you're probably going to learn more from their bio and like what type of teams they might be managing, what niche they're in, and then you can actually send them a message. And again, you can be a little bit more direct. I usually recommend still a video or a Loom video or a selfie video, but you can also just send them a straight up message and saying in either one something like, hey, John, I saw you manage sales teams for this company or this niche. I'm actually looking for opportunities as a setter or closer, whatever you are, and would love to connect. Are you open to talking about what you're looking for later this week? Or is there a way to apply for X position? And again, if they don't respond, give it 48 hours, maybe 3 days, and then you can politely send another follow-up message and just try to bump it. But often these conversations will move much faster because they are actively and literally looking for sales reps to use in their team or help other people with their teams. And again, the goal here and the way that you're approaching it is really just building relationships and long-term networking. And so don't just, like I was saying, hit up someone right away and right when you need something, asking for that. Engage with their content regularly. Again, hopefully they are posting, and currently, even if it's just stories, you'll see it on your social media, respond to their story. Oh, that's so cool. Where'd you go? What are you doing? How did it go? Whatever. Even if they don't respond to those, they'll see that you actually like their content. And when you do ask for something, it will be much more reciprocal. And if they are posting reels or videos, ask good questions. Really think about it. Put some time into it. Be one of the first to respond on their videos. And if they do post something about hiring, again, respond, ask questions, be engaging. And this is really how you can cultivate and build your network. And in 2026, I guess we're pretty much at the end of 2025, and 2026, this is going to be the most important thing. Your network is going to be much, much more important than your resume. So building that up, having people that you know and that know you is going to be how you land any position you want. All right, strategy number 3, joining communities and leveraging the network. And this one does take an investment, but it's often the fastest and easiest path if you choose correctly. And so there's communities and mentorships for people starting from ground zero in sales or for leveling up. Either way, the training is super helpful, but it goes so much deeper than that. And that is really where the network comes in. Who you're getting access to and the connections that you get. And so there's really 2 types you'll see. The bigger, more established programs with massive communities, you're going to get a very good training and much more structured, but the downside is you're going to get very little or no one-on-one or hand-holding or personalization access. And any job postings, you're going to be competing against a big group, a big community of other people and other sales reps who may be farther ahead in that skill of sales. The other type is smaller programs, newer programs, and this one maybe has a person running it has a few years of experience in sales, but they're just getting into the mentorship and coaching side of it. And the good thing about this is that you are going to get much more one-on-one access, much more hand-holding, and really personalized introductions to opportunities for jobs. And you're going to get one-on-one calls, live feedback, all of that type of stuff, much more access. And so this is really how I found my first job. I was working with someone who was almost working with me personally and genuinely wanted me to succeed, and he was just introducing me to a bunch of different opportunities, and I was able to land a really good one. And they are both very, very helpful, and they both work. It just truly depends on where you're at. So if you're just starting, you need some hand-holding, you need that like feeling of one-on-one, being able to ask your questions, just getting a personalized response, go the smaller one. You're gonna have much more, again, access to the person with experience. If you are self-motivated and you really just need access to some opportunities, awesome, go the bigger one. How to actually leverage the network and community that you're now in. First of all, don't just consume the content. Again, that's really good, but actually network. Message people, ask questions, set up role plays, ask who's hiring. Some of the best opportunities come from the other closers that you now know that are already on an offer and may say, hey, my company's hiring, do you want an intro? That's a personalized connection. So now getting known in the community is very important. Show up to calls, post in the community, post funny things that maybe happened on a call or on an interview, whatever it may be. Be visible and get them to know your name. The people who win in sales and in most life things are not just good at that skill, they're good at making and keeping and curating relationships. All right, that's that. Look, if you're watching this and you're still sitting on the sidelines, wondering what to do or jumping between things, watching everyone else actually make moves, I put a link in the description, and I'm not trying to be harsh here, but every month you stay in the exact same spot, you're losing money. And I'm not just talking about the money going out. I'm talking about the money you're not bringing in. That's the real cost. The link isn't some $5,000 course or a 2-hour pitch disguised as a webinar. Trust me, we all hate those. It's me explaining exactly how I can help you get placed into a high-ticket sales role and start making actual money. You don't have to click it, but if you're tired of wasting time and watching other people make $20,000 to $30,000 a month, like clockwork, it's there for you. But that's all for this video. If you got value, hit like. It genuinely helps push it out to other people who need it also. And drop a comment with any questions or what you want to see in the next video. And subscribe if you want more real content about breaking into sales and building actual freedom. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one.